Hey everyone, I'm Justin with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing these full LED taillights with the black housings and red lenses, available for all 2021 and newer Broncos, excluding the Raptor. Now these lights are going to be for the Bronco owners out there who want to achieve that Bronco Raptor styling, while at the same time enjoying a full LED operation for things like your brake lights, turn signals, and reverse lights, all for right around that $700 price point for the pair. So the biggest feature here with these particular taillights will be the fact that they're going to offer that Bronco Raptor styling that a lot of 6th gen owners really dig. Now don't get me wrong, the standard Bronco tails feature a subtle and classic design that works for a lot of people, but subtle and classic really isn't going to be for everyone. And if you like the over-the-top styling of the Raptor and want something similar for your standard Bronco, well, these are going to be it. Now, not only do these taillights contribute to a more aggressive Raptor-inspired look, but they also deliver a full LED operation for things like your running lights, brake lights, turn signals, and reverse lights, all laid out in the same fashion as those Bronco Raptor taillights. Now moving into construction, and you'll notice the combination of the black ABS plastic base here and surround, which does play home to the modern LEDs and red lenses. Now the upper and lower red blocks do feature 9 high-powered LEDs apiece, while the reverse lights feature 3 bright white LEDs, and that reverse block obviously separates both red blocks right in the middle. Now these particular lights do feature a plug-and-play operation, which will make the install a breeze, as we'll show you in a little bit, and they will still retain blind spot functionality for Broncos that are equipped. Last but not least here, guys, these taillights are given the DOT and SAE stamp of approval, and that does make them legal for use in all 50 states. Now your price point for the full LED options here will live right around $700, give or take, which does put these up there among some of the other more premium options in the category, along with some options from Raxium. But you also have to consider that at the time of this video, these are really the only options on the site to deliver that Bronco Raptor vibe. So if that's a look you're really after, these are going to be the ones for you. All right, last but not least, let's talk a little bit more about the install, and the site's gonna call this a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you a couple of hours at most to complete from start to finish. But now to give you a better idea of how these might go down on your Bronco at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, a clip remover tool, plastic pry tool, flathead screwdriver, an extension, and 7, 8, and 10 millimeter sockets. What's up guys? Today we're installing a set of taillights on our Bronco, so let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is pop open our tailgate, lift up our glass, and then we're gonna remove this fill panel right next to our taillight. So now I'm gonna take a clip remover tool to remove our 4 clips and a 10 millimeter socket for these 2 bolts. And then we can remove this fill panel and do that same thing on the other side. Next, we're gonna come to our wheel well, and we have the first 2 clips on our fender flare. We're gonna loosen up so that we can pop this off to get the clearance we need to remove a panel underneath our taillight. So you're just gonna grab this, rotate it 90 degrees, and then we can pop these clips out to get the access to that panel. Next, we can remove this lower panel. So I've got a plastic pry tool. We're gonna pull back on the fender flare and get it right in that lip there. Pop that off our clips. And then we'll pop it off of these clips as well. And now while we're over here, we can get this outside bolt for the taillight. So we'll take a 10 millimeter socket and pop that out. Next, we can remove this 10 millimeter bolt right at the bottom of this black plastic. And then we can take that plastic pry tool to pry off this whole panel. And then with that panel removed, we have access to the last 2 bolts holding our taillight in. So we'll take an 8mm socket to pull those out. And then we can pull straight back on our taillight. We'll flip it over to reveal our connector, press down on the tab, pop that out, and repeat on the other side. So now with our factory taillight removed, we're gonna have to transfer over our mounting bracket to our new one. We have 4 7mm screws that I'm gonna grab a 7mm socket to pull out and transfer over. So now I'm gonna remove this connector here by pulling up on the red locking tab and then pressing down on the black. And then we can pop our wires out of these clips. And then we have these 4 7mm screws. And then with that off, now we can slide this connector off this bracket by pulling up on the black tab. Now you might need to grab a flathead screwdriver to help pry up on that tab. And then you can wiggle that connector off. And then we're going to transfer this over to our new taillight. And now we can drop those screws into place. And then we'll grab our 7mm socket and tighten these down. And then do that same thing for your other taillight, and we'll get these on the Bronco. So now we can install our new taillight. So first I'm going to plug in our connector. And then we can line this up and slide it into place. And then we'll thread in those 2 8mm bolts. And then tighten those down with our 8mm socket. And then we can grab our trim panel, and slide that into place, and then take that 10mm bolt at the bottom and thread it in. And then switch to our 10mm socket and tighten that down. And now we can come to the side and reinstall that 10mm bolt and tighten that down with the 10mm socket. And then we can get our panel at the bottom here. I'm gonna pop that into the holes on the side first. And then you're gonna have to go under the tail light here. Pop the fender flare out of the way. Pop that into place. Push your fender flare back in, and then we can go under and re-engage those clips. And now we'll go under our fender flare and just twist those clips 90 degrees to lock those into place, and you can repeat the whole process on the other side. Now lastly, we can reinstall our fill panel with our 4 clips and our 2 bolts. And then one more time with that 10mm socket to tighten these down, and then you can do the same thing on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the full LED taillights with black housing and red lens for your 2021 and newer Bronco, excluding Raptor. Thank you for watching, and for all things Bronco, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.